women have had to and are still traveling a hard road on the education of the girl child.
Later, when King's College was established, the women of Lagos said, look, if you are establishing King's College so as to produce a new elite, educated elite, we want something like that for the women. The British government told them no. They told them they should be thankful for the type of education they were getting from the missionaries. They told them that if they wanted a school, then they must pay for it. So women had to contribute money to start Queen's College. So it was as bad as that they didn't give them the opportunities for development. And under their own scheme, their own education meant a lot. If you're going to move up, then you must be educated. But if you don't have the access to education, then you are in trouble. And therefore, if you look at our history, the first female graduate, the first lawyer, the first doctor, they came long after we had the first of these people, of men in these categories.
To catch up with their southern Nigerian counterpart in the 60s, the Premier of Northern Nigeria, Sir Ahmadu Bello, appointed a young, educated northern woman, Ms Safi Judith Atta, as Chief Women Education Officer to take on this responsibility.
I traveled all over the north, driving myself, by the way, in my Volkswagen. Yes. I visited every girls' school, secondary school, and every women's teachers' college. And when the NCE program was on, it was, of course, co-educational. So I went with the men on inspection to see how they are getting on, and if there are any specific areas where, we could come in. But it was education to promote women's education.
Ambassador Judith Atta was later to become the first Minister of Women Affairs. Through education, a number of women emerged and distinguished themselves as first female in the various fields and appointments, thereby making room for more women in these positions. Some of these were Dr. Elizabeth Abimbola Awoliyi, first female medical doctor; Mrs. Ebun Oyagbola, first female Minister of National Planning; Dr. Deborah Ajakaye, first woman Professor of Physics; Mrs. Anike Agbaje, first female television newscaster in Africa; Madam Franca Afegboa, first female senator of the Federal Republic; Patricia Ete, first female speaker of the House of Representatives; Mrs. Dora Akonyuli, first female CEO of NAFDAC; Mrs. Rosalind Abashia, first female CEO of the Nigerian Industrial Development Bank; Professor Joy Ugu, first female CEO of the Nigerian Institute for International Affairs; Dr. Obi Ezekwesili, Madam Due Process of the Obasanjo administration; Chioma Ajunwa, first Nigerian Olympic gold medalist, and so many others. The latest and the most prominent being Justice Aloma Mokhtar, the first female Chief Justice of the Federation. What have these women firsts done to ensure increase and continuity for women in decision-making positions? Mrs. Francesca Emmanuel, the first female Federal Permanent Secretary; Justice Rahila Kujo, the first female Chief Judge of Kaduna; and Rear Admiral Itinu Otonu, the first female two-star general in the military, speak.
salaries were the same, but the allowances, there was a bit of prejudice there. If you are appointed into the civil service, you are a Mrs. X, and Mr. X is also in the civil service, you will get your salary. But when it comes to your leave allowance, your housing allowance, and all those, you don't get it, your husband gets it. You know. And at that time also, there was maternity leave, no pay. There was no pay for maternity leave. There was, you know, all these little things. You know. So I had to fight for it. And I said, look, Mrs. X was appointed as an individual, and she should be entitled to all the allowances that Mr. X is, and I won.
We also have our website, and we started doing things which I doubt if any other judiciary is doing in this country. If you go on our website on a daily basis now, you see the cases that come in. I assign them, and as soon as I assign them to the different courts, they are published. So you can see which courts these cases have gone to. And on a daily basis also, we publish the daily course lists of all the judges at this as they sit. So for us now, lawyers will not even have to come here to find out where has their case gone or when is their case coming up. All they have to do is log onto our website, www.kadunajudiciary.org, and they will see that.
Right now, I'm in the logistics branch. That's the branch where we have people of the building profession. And I'm an architect by profession and a fellow of the Nigerian Institute of Architects. One of the very first things that the Navy is concerned about is the welfare of its personnel, the officers and the ratings. And again, if we tie that up with the whole issue of the government providing housing for all, and the fact that we have a shortfall of at least 40 million houses that we need to build, you would see that there's a very great gap between what we have and what we need. And like I said, the welfare of officers and ratings is paramount. Therefore, the leadership of the Navy thought it wise to institute a program whereby people would at least have a place to retire to.
Already, the Nigeria Defense Academy has commenced the training of female combatants, whom they fondly call queens.